What happened with Samantha Broson's gift is not an isolated story. It is a glimpse into a much larger truth, that Meghan Sussex is building a new culture of love, one that dismantles the coldness of the old world she walked away from. The monarchy thrives on distance, on hierarchy, on velvet ropes and gilded cages that remind people of who belongs and who does not. Meghan's world, by contrast, thrives on closeness, on warmth, on unbreakable human bonds that erase those lines and invite everyone to the table. When Samantha read the words, "Welcome to our place, we saved you a seat," she was not just reading a slogan, she was reading Meghan's philosophy. Those words could serve as the mission statement of Meghan's entire life. She saves seats for those who are excluded, for women silenced, for voices drowned out, for communities dismissed. Meghan does not hoard her seat at the table. She pulls up more chairs. That is her quiet rebellion, her unshakable difference, and the reason so many find her irresistible. This is also why Meghan's generosity is not shallow or fleeting. It has roots. It is anchored in values she learned as a young girl, long before titles and castles ever entered the picture. She has spoken often about her mother, Doria Ragland, and the lessons of kindness, independence, and integrity instilled in her. Meghan's compassion is inherited, yes, but it is also earned. Through struggles, through rejection, through the countless moments where she herself was told there was no seat for her. Each time she was denied, she grew more determined to make space for others. Her bond with Prince Harry only deepened this. Together, they have built a partnership that radiates generosity. Harry, who grew up watching his mother Diana reach out and hold hands with AIDS patients at a time when others recoiled, found in Meghan a kindred spirit who shared that same courage of compassion. Their love story is not just romantic, it is purposeful. Together, they have chosen to dedicate their lives to spreading empathy, whether through philanthropy, advocacy, or simple acts of kindness like Samantha's gift. Meghan's generosity cannot be separated from Harry's. They amplify each other, proving that love in a marriage can extend outward into the world as a force for good. And their children, Archie and Lilibet, are already being raised in this spirit. Meghan's generosity is not just a public act, it is a private inheritance she's passing down. She is raising her children to know that wealth is not measured in jewels or titles, but in kindness. That power is not about control, but about service. That the highest honor in life is not being bowed to, but being remembered for how much love you gave away. In this way, every act of generosity Meghan shows today becomes a lesson her children will carry tomorrow, ensuring that her legacy of compassion will not end with her, but will continue for generations. Samantha's joy becomes a part of that legacy too, because it is not just about Meghan giving, it is about the stories that ripple outward. When Samantha shared her moment, she was not just showing off a gift, she was testifying. She was adding her voice to the growing choir of people who have been touched by Meghan's kindness. And in that testimony, Meghan's generosity grows even larger. It becomes collective, it becomes community, it becomes unstoppable. The beauty of Meghan's generosity is that it scales. It is as powerful in small acts as it is in grand gestures. A dish sent to Samantha carries the same energy as a global initiative for women's empowerment because the intention is the same: love in action. Meghan does not see people as projects or statistics. She sees them as individuals worthy of dignity. That is why her generosity never feels hollow or staged. It always feels real, because it always is. And this authenticity terrifies those who oppose her. For years, critics have tried to frame Meghan as insincere, as calculating, as someone playing a role. But authenticity cannot be faked, and Samantha's raw reaction is proof of that. You cannot manufacture the kind of joy that radiated from her face. You cannot script the kind of gasp that escapes when someone truly feels seen. Meghan's generosity exposes the hollowness of her detractors. While they traffic in lies, she traffics in love. While they build careers on tearing down, she builds lives by lifting up. That contrast is so sharp that no smear campaign can dull it. And so, Meghan keeps giving, quietly, steadily, with intention. Each gift, each gesture, is another stitch in a larger tapestry she is weaving. A tapestry that stretches across continents, across communities, across lives. When historians one day look back at this era, They will not remember the cruelty of Meghan's critics nearly as much as they will remember the kindness of Meghan herself. Because cruelty makes noise, but kindness makes history. Samantha Broson's gift is history. Not the kind written in royal ledgers or shouted in palace announcements, but the kind lived in homes, in kitchens, in hearts. Meghan's generosity writes itself into the everyday lives of ordinary people, and that is far more powerful than any ceremonial ribbon-cutting could ever be. She has redefined what it means to be royal, not by clinging to tradition, but by creating a new tradition of love. And isn't that what the world desperately needs? In an age of division, cruelty, and loneliness, Meghan reminds us that generosity is revolutionary. She reminds us that love is not weak but fierce, that kindness is not optional but necessary, that saving someone a seat at your table can change the entire atmosphere of their life. As Samantha held her gift, as her laughter filled the air, as her joy spilled across screens for thousands to see, Meghan's generosity reached us too. We all felt it. We all were reminded that we too have the power to make someone feel seen, to save someone a seat, to spread love in our own circles. Meghan may have sent the gift to Samantha, but the truth is she sent the message to all of us. And the message is simple. Love multiplies when shared. Generosity heals when practiced. And kindness, even in its smallest forms, is the greatest legacy we can leave behind. That is Meghan's gift to the world. Not just dishes, not just notes, not just moments, but a way of life. A way of living that insists on compassion even when it is inconvenient, on generosity even when it is misunderstood, and on love even when it is attacked. Meghan Sussex is not just generous. She is generosity itself, embodied, walking, living, breathing. And Samantha Broson, in opening her package, opened a window for the rest of us to see that truth more clearly. In that moment, Meghan's love did what it always does. It travelled, it multiplied, and it endured. Because long after the box has been opened, long after the dish has been used, long after the moment has been shared online, one thing will remain unshaken: Meghan's generosity. It will continue to ripple outward, touching hearts, inspiring lives, and proving that love, quiet, consistent, intentional love, is the most unstoppable force in the world. In the end, Samantha's joy became more than just a personal celebration. It became a reflection of Meghan Sussex's wider legacy. This was never about the size of the gift, but about the spirit behind it. The quiet reminder that generosity is most powerful when it feels personal, when it reaches directly into someone's life and whispers, "You are seen, you matter, you belong." Meghan has made a habit of doing just that, of cutting through noise and division with gestures that carry sincerity and heart. What Samantha held in her hands was more than a package. It was proof of the way Meghan reshapes narratives of power and royalty into narratives of love and humanity. In a world that often rewards cruelty and indifference, Meghan insists on choosing kindness, even when it comes at a cost. That choice has made her a target for critics, but it has also made her a beacon for countless others who find strength in her example. Samantha's moment, then, is not isolated. It is a thread in a much larger fabric of compassion Meghan is weaving across the globe. One gift, one smile, one seat at the table at a time. To all my curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye-bye, see you then in our next episode.